What's up guys, welcome back to another video. We left the last video on not a good note. As you could tell, no motor in the STI, and that is because, long story short, the motor needed to come out and get some work done. But thankfully, we got it out. We are going to begin to get this thing back together so we can get it back in the car, because I want to drive this thing and I want to start in the S15. And I totally did not plan for this whatsoever. So before we get started, I kind of want to explain to you guys what happened with this motor. And I'll just admit it right now, it was totally my fault. It was a new mistake, but let's get into it. So basically, a year ago when I built this thing, this is my first time ever building a motor. It's my first time ever building a Subaru motor, and I did the best I could. I followed every instruction guide that I could find, every video, every Reddit forum, everything. But when you're new things, you make mistakes. And good news is that it was not the head gasket that failed on this motor. It was actually more so my job in tightening the heads down. Basically, when I went to go bleed the car, when we were doing the oil cooler install, that was kind of the last straw for this motor in terms of the head. And basically what started happening is the car lifted its head. So what I did, and I didn't know this at the time, basically the reason I found this out is because I took it to one of my local shops and said, I don't want to tear it apart. I want someone who actually knows what they're doing to tear it apart and look at it. And so that's what I did. And they tore it apart, and they said that both of the middle studs, more so the passenger side on bank 2, both of the middle studs were basically coming loose. And they said that I had applied ARP fastener lube onto the wrong side of the washers, nuts, whatever combo. And basically that gave me the improper torque spec. So I was doing what I thought was right when I torqued down these heads, but I guess I wasn't. So you live and you learn. For the first time ever building a motor, it thankfully did not blow up. Thankfully, did not cook a head gasket, and thankfully is repaired and back together, ready to go. So, long story short, do your homework and make sure you do things right the first time, or learn when you mess it up and do it again. So that's what we did. When I initially started tearing this thing down, I kind of had the plan of revamping everything inside here and pulling it all out and painting the engine bay and maybe switching up the turbo kit. And as nice as it would be, I just don't think it's worth it. This car ran fantastically. The way it was set up, it made loads of power. And honestly, other than like aesthetics and like Instagram builds and stuff like that, I see no point in really changing this setup. The setup is virtually brand new, and it's a pretty good setup. It's a responsive turbo, and I'm really happy with the way it was set up. So I think, as cool as it would be to change it up, we're just gonna keep it the same because it works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I did go through and I did clean out the entire engine bay. I made sure that I got it as clean as I could, because hopefully this motor does not have to come out again anytime soon. One thing I also did while I had the chance is I went through and I basically re-clear coated the headlights. I went through and I sanded them down, got some 2K clear coat and resprayed them, and got them all buffed and shiny. For being a basically 6-year-old car, these headlights were starting to yellow a little bit, so I got those fixed up. They're a little orange peely. The camera's not gonna pick it up, but they are a little orange peely, but overall, they look really good. Enough talking, let's get to putting this motor back together. So first thing that's got to go on is the turbo, because that way we can get the inlet and the manifold on. I just think that's going to be the easiest way. There's a bunch of ways you can do this, but that's the way that I'm going to do it. We have a bunch of new gaskets and stuff like that. I have basically all new gaskets for everything. I am going to Loctite this stud because I do not want it falling out. So I'm pretty sure the last one fell out. I do like to use these turbo support brackets because the turbo is quite heavy compared to stock. And especially with this flex joint in there, I don't want all that weight bearing down on the up pipe. Plus I'm kind of a stickler, so when it comes to like just not using parts for no reason, I'm not the one to do that. Okay, I believe next is the turbo. Got brand new gaskets for that as well. It was bad man Gemma. Ready to go. Got one. Seriously. This bad boy just goes. With a bigger stock location turbo, getting these bolts down here, especially with this coolant line in the way, can prove to be a little bit challenging. All right, everything should be bolted down, ready to go. Okay, so I got the turbo with all of its lines and the up pipe. Everything is in, ready to go. This is gonna be the hardest part here. These damn turbo inlets are always a huge pain, but we're gonna make it work. I got it around here, so I'll probably just disassemble the V-bend, or not the V-bend, with the worm gear clamp, get it around there, and then get it situated. I also might take off the power steering pump and then put it on. That way I don't like strip anything out. Kind of a challenge to get it on there, but it'll be a lot easier with the intake manifold off. I really thought I was gonna have to get some like phenolic spacers or something, because this turbo inlet genuinely just barely fits, Might be at a little bit of a standstill tonight. I totally forgot to get the TGV manifold gaskets. So first thing in the morning, I'm gonna go pick those up and then get going on this. I did go ahead and drain the power steering pump and take it off, and I'm so glad that I did, because that's what our power steering looked like. Power steering is not supposed to be black. It's supposed to be like a reddish color. That looks like straight up like just tar that came out of the power steering pump. So the two lines are draining right now. I have a full bottle of Subaru power steering fluid, and it'll also make my life 10 times easier getting this power steering pump back on this car. Okay, so I got a couple of things done. I got the power steering pump on. I blocked off these two coolant outlets because I'm deleting the throttle body coolant system. One reason being just like overall simplicity. Two being I guess it'll kind of help IATs a little bit. Not the main reason that I'm doing it. And also, I want to be able to run both the AEM oil pressure sensor and the factory oil pressure sensor. And so I wanted to be able to run this sensor back here. Before, I was using this super long extension line and basically running it from back here and then like connecting it to the strut tower. But I kind of wanted to make it a little bit cleaner, and by deleting there's basically two coolant lines that run to the throttle body. And by deleting both of those coolant lines, it'll make space for that sensor back there. So next up is the challenge of getting the turbo inlet into there, which is a huge challenge. As you can tell, there's like barely any clearance at all, especially with this TGV and this PCV line, but it fit before. I'm gonna have to do it again. Next up is going to be the manifold and engine harness. This part is always a ginormous pain to get done, especially with this turbo inlet. Oh, dude. Stock location setups actually suck. Like, they're the worst to work on. Everything. They're terrible. Don't do them. I'll come back when I get this on. Here you have it. A semi-complete EJ25 motor. Ready to go back in, almost. Probably not gonna get back to getting it in today, but the long block is essentially ready to go back in. There's a couple little things that need to go back in that I don't have. Now it's just time to get it up on a hoist, get the clutch back on, and then get it in the car. After that, it's just all of our accessories, and we should be ready for a first start. I feel like these EJs are so challenging to like make look nice and pretty. Like a lot of the inline motors, when you build them and you delete stuff, you can make them all super clean and pretty. But I feel like the EJ is just challenging because everything's got to go from side to side, just the way it's set up. But I try my best. Try to get the harness as tucked as possible and the fuel lines as tucked as possible. It's the same setup as it was before, but just kind of telling you how I did that. I am definitely ready to drive this car again. It's been a little while. This car's a lot of fun. It'll be awesome to get this car back on the road so that we can get started on the S15. I think in a perfect world, I would have taken the chance to switch this car to a rotated setup, but I think to like really effectively go rotated, I would have had to do a little bit more motor work. And like I said, I really just want to get started on the S15. This car is pretty good the way it is. Maybe one day we'll take the time to really dive deep in this car and do like essentially a version 2, maybe a body kit or something like that. But for right now, this car is good the way it is. Not sure if you guys noticed, but I did pick up a set of these Sonar taillights. They're basically the D-Max copies. I'm kind of torn on these. Part of the reason that I got these is because they came up on a good deal and I kind of wanted to change up the look. Plus these are a pretty popular taillight set, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of just take away from the, I don't know, period correct vibes that I'm looking for. The other half of this equation is that when I was going to re-clear and basically refinish the STI headlights, which turned out freaking great, I thought, hey, might not be a bad idea to try it on the taillights. And I learned my lesson pretty quick that taillights aren't cleared, they are painted. And you can see I just burned, right, obviously they're still sanded because there's no clear coat on them anymore, but I basically just burned right through the black outsides, which is fine. Probably was going to order a brand new set of OEM taillights anyways. Those are kind of my favorite looking ones on this car, but I don't mind the D-Max Sonar taillights either. Also, if anybody knows how to fix the rear third brake light on the windshield, please let me know, because when I got the car, it was unplugged, and I plugged it back in, and it's still not working. I honestly haven't put that much effort into it. I probably ought to just like see if there's actually a bulb in the socket, but I kind of want that one to work too. If you guys haven't figured out by now, I'm a big fan of OEM Plus on my cars. It's how I built this car. It's kind of how I plan to build this car. I don't know, I just feel like there's something so nice about just enhancing what the car looked like from factory, and it still keeps that identity. Put on some nice fitment, a little bit of aero, and call it a day. I know in the last video I talked about how I was kind of on the fence on which way I was leaning for this car, and I think I've kind of decided. I think it's going to be more of an OEM Plus build, still maintaining the SR, doing the SR DET swap, a little bit of a built motor, but not pushing anything crazy, probably 350, 400 on this car, and just keeping it to its roots, a light, good handling, nimble street car. There's a JZ swap, there's an RB swap. I know there's plenty of haters of the SR and, you know, rocker arms and everything, but for the power that I'm looking, I think the SR will do just fine. There's plenty of people on the planet that build SRs and they do just fine. So that's kind of where my head is on this car. The car is definitely going to get resprayed. That's why I don't really care about the paint right now. and it's not staying white. I think there are too many white S15s out there. I like white. I think it's a good color, but I kind of want to change it up for this car and do something a little bit different. But yeah, we're making progress. This will probably be going into the car in the next video. Fingers crossed, hopefully we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. I appreciate you guys for watching. With that, we'll see you in the next one.